Nobody wants a Motorola.
So, I mean,
Nobody with any sense.
I remember it, but I never actually had one myself.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 179 of the Clever and Original Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kayley Misialek. Alongside me, the man with a plan, Jayden Reinhart.
Yeah, and this week my plan is to not get that ridiculously expensive Motorola Razr phone. I was at, like how the gas pumps now have
Razr phones were like...
They're
They're
terrible.
like...
they flip out?
Yeah, they're flip phones.
Flip.
Yeah, they flip out, yeah.
Like they flip, like it's a whole generation of phones. I was sitting at a gas pump, gassing up my car, and the pumps now have like those TVs, like their own like networks.
I don't get why.
It's really weird. It's really weird to me. But anyways, I was watching that, and while I was waiting for the gas to pump, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Motorola Razrs are coming back." It's like, what?
Why?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, why would that be a thing? Why do people want this again? I mean, flip phones are kind of old. I don't know. If anything, I would want the one with the full keyboard,
Well, is it like a touch screen flip phone?
I think it's a touch screen as well.
Like a smart flip phone or whatever. I heard about that.
Was the Razr touch
Because
screen?
like they're like...
No,
it's like your
the Razr does not have a touch screen.
It's like your smartphone, right? But then it like flips closed or whatever.
Fuck that. I don't like that at all. I don't like it.
This guy right here,
like
Larson, doesn't like flip phones.
I don't. They sucked.
I've never had a flip phone.
I had a slide up phone and a slide.
See, I never even
out
had
keyboard,
that.
Motherfucker. The slide out keyboard, you can text like 10,000 miles.
Like
per hour,
back before like smartphones, like my cell phone was like. It was like this, except, I mean, not like this, but like, it was just one like thing. It didn't fold or anything. It had the keypad and everything. But that's it. It didn't like move anything. It had these fancy flipping technology that everyone else has.
So I found a little article here. Apparently, it's that Motorola's Razr is coming back, $1,500 folding smartphone. It'll come with a few upgrades, apparently. Debuted back in 2004.
$1,500?
Well, is that really that bad? Because like if you, that is that bad. Sorry, I was thinking like
$500.
Because like $800 is for like newer like iPhones.
Yeah, this is
right?
twice that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, this phone that I have was $1,000.
I'm cool with not having a flippable.
Yeah,
phone.
mine
So,
was
like,
800.
So like if that's how much this is,
and
like,
these are
come
like
on.
the nice phones, right? Like the
Yeah.
top of the line. So like
it's a
1500.
smartphone with a foldable screen.
Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah, like yeah. So like the keypad is part of the screen.
Right.
Like when you flip it open, it has the keypad, but that's not physical.
But I don't see the point. I mean, I guess your screen. Well, like the thing is, right? I feel like, what's the point of that? Like my first thought went to, okay, it protects your screen, but then I'm like, wait, that doesn't actually protect your screen, because like, have you ever had like a Game Boy or like a DS, like folding them, like is like where they get their scratches and everything.
Yeah, the Game Boy SP.
Yeah, and so like.
That.
I don't think this will help protect it from getting scratches.
Also, I'm pretty sure I dropped it.
Scratched the shit.
I'm pretty sure I dropped it with it closed, and it still broke.
And
the
like,
screen.
how thin is it? Because these are thin, right? But they're still thick enough where if you folded them, it would be pretty big in like your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not putting it in your pocket, like let's say you're putting it in your purse, like that's still like. Doesn't really save space at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
It's really weird to me. I never thought I'd see flip phones coming back. I thought that was like...
Well, because it's unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like, I remember a big thing with the Razr was with flip phones, you'd have kids walking around flipping it open and closed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just constantly, like, as like a fidget toy, basically. And that would break. Like, the little...
Mm-hmm.
bit would, and then it would open, but it would kind of like flop open sadly. And I can't imagine that would make for a very good screen.
No.
If all of a sudden your screen doesn't like properly,
it would be bad.
Yeah,
I would not like.
Well, also I feel like there have to be some sort of like thing cutting the screen. Well, there'd have to be, right? Thing cutting the screen in half.
Well, I imagine it would be like a calculator. Have you ever like broken a calculator?
No.
No, I have. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. Maybe, I hope I'm not the only one who's done that.
But
there's like a wire running from the screen of the
there would have to
calculator
be
the
like,
keypad.
this thing, this hinge or whatever, and then there would have to be like this cut in the screen. Which, why would I want this like cut in my screen?
Well, it'd probably be more akin to like a DS, but like a
Right.
phone.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be like the DS like shape. It would be like long.
Even Nintendo's getting rid of dual screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're throwing it out. They're not anymore.
That seems like they're late to a party that never really existed. I don't know what Motorola's doing.
They're taking new technology and
Mhm.
putting it with old school thought design.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a bad idea.
Sounds terrible.
So anyway, if you haven't listened to us before, we are the Clever and Original Podcast. We talk about comic book movie type stuff, video game type stuff, particularly in that order, and I guess some Motorola stuff too. Okay.
Apparently, yeah.
So let's get on with the news then. Marvel released a Spider-Man Homecoming, the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. I cannot talk today. Spider-Man Far From Home, the very first trailer for that, along with Sony Pictures. We saw it. What are our thoughts? Looks like it's based on him going to Europe with his class for some reason, and Nick Fury's there. And I would assume things happen that go off the rails.
It kind of seems like, from how the trailer was like showing parts of the movie, that he goes without his suit because he's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man for this trip. I just want to have fun with my friends because he's a kid, right?
Yeah.
Back to the same thing in Homecoming where he has like a life outside of Spider-Man. He's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man all the time. I want to be a kid. And then he shows up, and then apparently shit goes down, and Nick Fury's like, what the fuck, why don't you bring your suit? And then he gets a cool new suit. Or whatever. And it sounds like it's going to be a lesson in, like, with great power. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. And so he's just going to have to accept the fact that he has to be Spider-Man all the time.
Poor old Uncle Ben. I wonder if they'll mention him this time.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember, like, what was it? In the 2012 Amazing Spider-Man, they were like, we want it different from like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but they still showed Uncle Ben dying though.
Yeah.
But they were like, okay, so he's not gonna say with great power comes great responsibility. He's gonna say a really more dumb version of that, where it's like, people thought that when you had when you had this thing, you had a responsibility to do those things. And I'm like, I'm doing it like partially, but that's like, those are like a lot of what he kind of said in that film.
Yeah, like just reworded slightly.
Yeah.
Let's change it so it doesn't look like we're copying.
Well, it's like, it's so iconic. Just fucking do it. Like,
yeah. You might as well. People love it.
It's like taking out Captain America's shield from Captain America.
Mm-hmm. It's silly. They should have just done the old phrase.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
Looks like Mysterio is, I was going to say back, but he never was in a movie in the first place.
Yeah.
He's Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's got the fish bowl on top of his head, which is awesome.
He does have the fish bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
It's great.
Also, are they fighting Sandman?
Yeah, so we see Sandman.
But then there's like
Hydro,
Fireman.
We got Molten Man and Hydro Man.
Oh, those are people.
But
who's Jake Gyllenhaal again?
Mysterio.
Okay, I thought so.
So my theory is that Mysterio is like this master of special effects, and those aren't actually the villains themselves. They're just Mysterio conjuring up this illusion of like these elemental villains.
Yeah, it's to kind of like steal the stage.
Yeah.
From Spider-Man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool.
That makes sense.
It'd be a cool plot.
I can see that.
That's kind of his dig. He always like fucks with Spider-Man, but like in a very smart and illusory way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's kind of his.
Master of illusions.
Yeah.
He also made Wolverine kill all of his friends once in a comic.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, he just illusioned shit, and
So he's like, these are my enemies. And then,
yeah, and he killed all of them. So he like just clawed to death all of his friends.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
So
fucking
he's the most
hardcore.
powerful X-Men. Then fuck them.
yeah, I mean Wolverine clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't stop him. Like,
And Mysterio is something.
Yep.
I'm excited that we get Mysterio. I actually,
I like.
what was it? I said it on this podcast.
You did. You did.
That it should be the very first villain for the next Spider-Man film after Infinity War. Should be Mysterio.
yeah, there we are.
And
Mysterio is here.
yeah,
And I think I'm going to like it too, because one reason I like Loki is, one, the actor. He's really good. And two, I like the mind games that the character plays. And I think Mysterio is going to be pretty much in the same vein of, like, I like the actor and the character plays all these mind games. Which
Yeah.
to me is more interesting for me. Maybe people agree, maybe people disagree, but I dig mind games. I like things that make you think.
yeah, they're
It's
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like he's got some magic, but that's also like visual effects. People are theorizing that he's just taking some alien technology or something. But who knows? I mean, they have changed things. Like they did the same thing with Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible they could do it. I kind of hope they don't, but I mean, I could see that.
I mean, maybe his powers are illusions too, you know?
Also, Nick Fury's in this,
Yeah.
and we haven't seen Nick Fury in forever. I mean, we saw him at the end of Infinity War. Spoiler alerts: he gets, turned to dust.
Yeah.
But like, we haven't seen him at all in Phase 3. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Because
I
like,
mean, he'll be coming up in
he
Wonder
wasn't-
Woman.
I mean, not Wonder
No,
Woman.
Captain
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he wasn't in Civil War, wasn't in Doctor Strange,
Mhm.
or Guardians 3, obviously, or Thor Ragnarok, or
Well, he was at the
Ant-Man
end of
and
Ant-Man and the Wasp. No, not
No, he
Ant-Man and the
wasn't.
Wasp. Sorry, no, he was at the end of.
not Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay, no.
So yeah, he hasn't been in a film since Avengers: Age of Ultron.
No, he wasn't. Wasn't he in Infinity War?
Well, the post-credits scene.
Well,
but-
yeah.
I mean, I
that
could
counts,
guess.
so.
Sure, whatever. Okay, fine.
It's
He's
been a while.
technically
It's
in
been a while.
Infinity War, but he hasn't had like a major role since like Avengers. I mean, even that wasn't really a major role, but
Yeah.
anyway, he has a role at least. It seems
Yeah.
based on the trailer, and so we're getting him in Captain Marvel. We might get him at some point in Endgame, if probably just at the end when everyone's saved or whatever.
Mhm.
And then we'll see him in Homecoming. So a lot of Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury this year
Mhm.
for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Young and old Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Cool stuff.
Also, I really liked that thing with Zendaya.
Yeah, yeah. They have funny banter back and forth. I
It's like,
appreciated it.
Because I am attractive, that means I have value.
Oh, that was pretty funny. Him being all awkward was.
Yeah. Trevor, Jay's old roommate, and JJ's old roommate.
Yeah.
Really
Can't
did
do
not
that.
like Homecoming because
Oh my
of how
God.
awkward it was. He could not handle the. I mean, I like it because it's like, high school. It's
Yeah,
funny.
it kind of feeds off
Like-
of that. That's what makes it
Like,
hilarious.
and
Yeah.
Trevor's just like cringe.
Like stands up and walks out. It's like, Trevor, we're watching this because you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
you leave
good.
the room, we're gonna pause it
Yeah,
and
and
wait
you're
for
gonna
you.
wait for you to come back so we can
Yeah.
finish watching this part you think is so cringe.
You will watch it.
Trevor Flynn.
Yeah.
Little Trev. Big Trev.
Big Trev.
Slang.
Big Trev
Slaying.
slang.
Yeah, a little inside joke there.
Mhm.
But yeah, Far From Home looks cool.
Yeah.
I kind of hope we don't see anything more until after Endgame, just because I don't know. I don't really want to know the story of Far From Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it
So,
when too much information is given out. And you go see the movie and it's like, oh, I already saw this in all the trailers. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, at least we know that everything's fine. after
Yeah,
after
well, I mean-
Endgame, everything is okay.
Yeah. Like, I wonder, because, like, I guess people really thought that, like, everyone was dying in Infinity War?
No,
Like
course not.
Really not.
well, like main audience, like people who don't listen to like this podcast
or like pay attention.
right?
To it.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Why would Marvel can you imagine Marvel just like, all right, now everyone
Okay.
dies and we're done.
Guys, Black Panther was our biggest movie ever. He's gone. We're no longer making Black Panther. He's just dead. All right, Spider-Man also gone. You know, like Doctor Strange, boom, boom. All right, all these characters you like, they're gone. You know, all the stuff we can make a lot of money with, it's gone.
Gone forever.
Yep.
I would kind of dig like an alternate history where they don't succeed, like they still don't succeed in like stopping the snap, but then they also don't succeed in bringing everyone back. And
that
and
would
it
just be
goes.
depressing.
Yeah, that would just be sad.
Yeah, but it could
just
be
be
it
like-
could take a cool turn. Like it could be
I
like
mean,
10
what
years
would they
later,
do?
and then they got like this new like setup going on. And
Sure, I guess, but then it's like
civilization is like
they can't
bonkers.
avenge
Like,
any. Like the thing is, like, I mean, we're gonna see that kind of at the beginning, at least, of Endgame, I would think,
you think, yeah.
because like the thing is, if they don't have anything to do, like to go after Thanos, then there's kind of no point to that story. No offense.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's just life, and everyone grows old and dies.
But I could really dig like a post-apocalyptic. I mean, that's what it would be, right? Because half the people die. So you imagine there's a lot of important jobs that are suddenly unmanned.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
mayor,
that'd be
the
interesting.
mayor dead,
Well,
president's
there'd just be
bodyguards dead.
There'd just
like,
there'd be new ones. Yeah.
right,
I mean,
but
we'd
people have to
fill
set
'em.
that up.
But yeah, I get what Jay's saying, because you know,
Yeah.
like you'd have
Yeah.
like there would be a lot of chaos for
There'd be a lot of
everybody,
chaos.
because a lot of important people are just gone, and you still need to take time to fill those positions. And during that, I mean, look at the government shutdown right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say
I
the
mean-
government would definitely.
I mean,
be shut down in
everyone's
that
still
scenario.
there, and like, and things are going to hell. Just imagine if they weren't there.
Well, and like people, I mean, it's not to like start talking about a controversial subject here, but with the government shutdown currently going on, it's now gone on long enough for people to be missing 2 paychecks,
Yeah.
which is really fucking with them, like being able to pay bills or pay down a house or anything
Yeah.
like that. And so in this scenario,
There'd just
if
be people
every
gone.
people just died everywhere, there would definitely be a government shutdown. People definitely would stop getting paid.
Well,
So there would definitely be
some bad
riots.
shit would happen.
There would
a
definitely
lot of,
be
a lot of
riots.
bad things.
There'd be riots. There'd be like cults forming, groups forming. It'd be sick.
What if they're-
it'd be
they're-
like a cooler Fallout?
Yeah, there'd
It'd
be
be
like
so
superheroes.
guys, everything is going to shit. This is so awesome. I love it
Yeah.
when it's
I
when
mean,
people are losing their paychecks, when people are forming gangs. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that'd be a real cool storyline for like people to worship Thanos, like he did the right thing. And
I don't think people know that Thanos did it, right?
oh, I suppose.
Like,
Well, what if
I
one of
mean-
the superheroes?
I mean, the
Had that.
I mean the superheroes know, obviously, because they fought him, but like
Right, but
No,
is
I
there
don't- I
one
don't
that
think-
hadn't fought him that knows about Thanos? Because it'd be cool if they had a different opinion and
there-
form a cult. That'd be awesome.
I don't know. Did Rocket didn't fight them?
No.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, no, yeah. So
Very
so
few people know.
Yeah.
War Machine didn't. I mean, he. So the people who know who didn't fight him. Well, I mean, everyone at Wakanda
Fought.
they didn't fight him particularly, but they know
They're fighting against.
they're
him.
fighting against him. The only person who doesn't know is Ant-Man. That's the
Yeah.
only superhero that doesn't know, and Captain Marvel, as far as we know.
Yeah. She's out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She knows.
But as far as like civilians, like they don't know shit. All of a sudden, everyone just gone.
People are
Like the
just
thing is,
fucking
like,
gone.
like the people remember, oh, a spaceship landed in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it left,
Yeah.
and then the nation of Wakanda, which is like nobody knows about, just had
Yeah.
this giant war with
Yeah.
aliens that nobody knows about, and then everyone's just turning to ash.
Oh man, but that'd be the coolest. Like, can you imagine? Then all of a sudden, people are like worshiping this like made-up alien as like a cult, and that, like there's like a section of people that think that that was the correct thing. Like these aliens are looking out for us. We shouldn't be, you know. And then they're like, but then there's people that go against that, and they're just like super aggressive, and there's not really a right side to it. But there's all these like warring factions. and the human race is divided beyond how it is now.
Okay, I would be interested to see
Awesome.
how humans react.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the superheroes are humans,
It'd be
but
like Fallout, but with superheroes.
like
It'd be
regular
beautiful.
people.
Yeah.
So
How
fun.
regular people reacted to half the world going extinct.
Yeah. That'd be way cool. I'd be down. All I'm saying
I'm curious
is like,
how
that'd be
other
awesome.
places, if they're gonna show how other places react to it, like the Kree or the Skrulls, like kind of combine those two right there. Or I guess the Xandarians are extinct, maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know. Thanos killed a bunch of them to get
Yeah.
the Power Stone off screen.
I don't know if all of them are dead. Ugh. I don't know why on there. I don't know if all of them are dead, but a lot of them. Most
Yeah.
of them.
But yeah, Far From Home, Spider-Man's all right.
Everyone's all right.
The kids are all right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looks cool. Comes out in July. 3 months after. 3 months after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Warner Brothers is saying that are putting less of a focus on DC and its multi-shared universe after the success of Aquaman. Warner Brother Picture Group's chairman Toby Emmerich said that to THR that the studio has, quote, turned a corner when it comes to the DC shared universe. Quote, we all feel like we've turned a corner now. We're playing by the DC playbook, which is very different than the Marvel playbook. We are far less focused on a shared universe. We take it one movie at a time. Added that each film is its own equation and own creative entity. And it's saying that it will still be focused about the directors.
I mean, it does feel like the smart move because although the shared universe is working out for Marvel, they've had a lot of setup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
they've been doing it for a while.
Well,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean,
They need
I like this, but at the same time, it feels like they're missing the. They're getting the point, but they're missing the point. Because, like, the thing with Marvel is that they focused on each individual film first,
yeah.
and then added everything together.
And
Whereas,
that-
like, DC tried to do the Justice League and Batman and Superman stuff first, and then spread it out. Where it's like Iron Man happened in 2008, and so did Incredible Hulk, and then you had Iron Man 2 in 2010, Thor in 2011, Captain America in also 2011, and then you had Avengers in 2012, which was 4 years after Iron Man 1 had come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And and then they started to do the interweaving, and it hasn't even become really that interwoven until Phase 3 still. So, like, I mean, I'm glad that they're focused on each individual film. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I just hope they don't. I hope it's not so unfocused that you can't put the characters together.
Right.
Like putting them together would be strange because of how
Different they are.
yeah.
Well, and I think a big player of that is the size of the calamity, like whatever's going wrong in the movie. Like even with Endgame, like we can clearly see that with how much this affects literally all life.
Yeah.
It's really hard to avoid spoilers. Like there's a ton of cons to it. Like there's a lot of pros to it, right? Like there's so much at stake, but at the same time there's not, because we know these people have contracts, so they're not leaving yet. We saw the Far From Home, so we know he's alive. Like with it affecting so much, there's a lot to spoil just by it existing. And I think the trick is with like going superhero by superhero single movies, keeping that like destructiveness like low, keeping the stakes like within a very contained sphere, so that it's realistic for 13 different things be going on in the world and just not affecting each other.
Right.
And
Like
then it's a lot easier to combine later.
yeah. I mean, DC has had very like world-ending villains like every single movie they've done.
And I think that's the
except for
problem.
Batman. Well, I mean, even Batman v Superman. Like they had that. What was it? Crap. I can't think of the character's name. The villain. Was it
Bane? No.
I want to say like Annihilation, but that's not it.
I don't
Anyway, that giant monster.
Yeah.
Anyway, it wasn't like Lex Luthor or anything, but like, I mean, contrast that with Marvel. Like Iron Man faced off against Jeff Bridges in an empty warehouse
Yeah.
for the end of Iron Man, and then you had like Iron Man 2 ending in like, I mean, ended in New York, so I mean it was a little bigger. Captain America ended on a plane. Thor was in the middle of a desert, and then it wasn't until the Avengers where like a world-changing thing was happening.
Yeah, where it's like a big deal.
Where it's like in like Superman, Zod is like gonna kill the entire planet. In Batman v Superman, you got this giant monster who I can't remember the name of.
It's
the person who kills Superman.
Darkseid? No.
In the comics.
What the fuck is it?
I should have this. I should know this. Anyway, that happens, right? Justice League, you've got even more of that. In Wonder Woman, you've got a god going to starting World War One, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And
I think in Aquaman, I haven't seen it, so to be fair, like I guess I can't really say much on this, but it looks like the Atlanteans are going to invade the land.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird, but
yeah, I mean, you got to think, like, you don't have to necessarily, like, oh, they lived out in the countryside and everything happens there, so it doesn't affect everyone. Like, if the issue affects just the main character, it's really easy to make the environment kind of uncaring, like, even in a big city.
Yeah.
Like, if you're being chased by someone who wants to kill you and he's a big, scary alien monster, no one's going to believe you. No one's going to care. They don't know who you are. So that can happen in a big city, and, like, most of the population doesn't give a fuck.
Well, like, I mean, I think...
And you can get away with that kind of thing. Like, that's still pretty small scale.
Need more, like, Lex Luthor stuff, right? Because, like, look at... I think the comparable thing I would think of with Marvel is, like, Kingpin, right? Like, Kingpin is, like, trying to run gangs in New York City. Like, that doesn't affect... That only affects people in New York City, right? And, he's this big threatening thing to superheroes, but, like... It's not like a world-ending thing.
Right.
And it's a much more small scale. And it can also be a lot better because, you're focusing more on, like, character than, like trying to save the entire world every single time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they should do more of that, I think. Because, like, they really... Like, I like this. They should focus on the individual characters. They should focus on the individual films. I think that's one reason, Wonder Woman works so well is because it was so distant from everything else. It was set in World War One, and, like, all these other characters are in modern day, Batman, Superman, whatever. It's so far off that, you don't even need to worry about the other characters or what else is going on.
Yeah. For sure. That's definitely the key. And that's definitely what Warner Bros. Has to do first before going back into the combined shared universe, world ending all the time.
Yeah, they gotta...
Even Marvel with their combined universe don't end the world every time.
No.
Generally, it only affects, like, the one character. Like, Ant-Man's trying to be a dad, and he's having a rough time because he's a convict kind of thing. Like, that doesn't affect the entire world. That just affects Ant-Man. And it's still super interesting. Do that, Warner Bros. DC, fuck you. Stop doing what you're doing.
Put in some fucking work.
Yeah.
Put in some work.
But, yeah.
You want that new Bugatti?
But if it's like Wonder Woman, and Aquaman's getting some good reviews. I don't think as good as Wonder Woman, but still, I mean, that's that's a trend in the right direction. Because
Yeah.
Justice League was bad, and then you come out with like Wonder Woman, and that's really good, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on Warner Brothers DC movies?
No.
No? All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Disney Plus. Disney Plus, the streaming service that we've been talking about for a while now, will be getting a first look in April. Should be coming at, I think, a shareholders meeting. And it will coincide with the release, or an Investors Day, on April 11th. And it will coincide with Star Wars Celebration. So the rumor is that Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian, which is a TV show exclusive to Disney Plus, will be showcased as like one of the things for Disney Plus, and the reveal of that. And then So thoughts on this Disney Plus stuff? It's supposed to come out this calendar year. Thoughts on the reveal?
I mean, Disney certainly has like the budget and popularity to do something like this. And I guess we talked about the Steam versus Epic Games new store and how any competition being good. I think this is still that case. Like, I don't know if Disney Plus is going to be something I'm interested in, but hopefully they do well enough to kind of compete with Netflix. Because if that happens, then we as the consumer will get better deals. Both platforms will try to offer more in attempts to beat the other,
Mm-hmm.
So as the buyer in this situation, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm still not super interested in Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm still not interested.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing, I agree with you that competition is good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the issue with Disney Plus, particularly for me, is that they aren't going to do like mature content, like no R-rated stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's like where like the money is. Oh, maybe not.
In like adult content.
Like in the streaming services, like you look at like these specialty services, right?
HBO.
Like HBO, Game of
Netflix.
Thrones,
Netflix
True Crime,
has its big
True
shows.
Detectives or whatever,
Yeah.
Netflix has, Orange is the like New Black, all like Stranger Things,
More
Black
adult,
Mirror.
More adult content, yeah.
Yeah. And same with like Amazon, like Man in the High Castle.
Super adult.
Yeah.
one of the most adult shows I've ever watched.
like these are all like, big things that get these, these streaming services noticed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get them out there. Granted, Disney also has a major catalog of IP, and more so than anyone else. But I think the thing is that they're gonna have to do a lot of original things for this, and not having access to the mature stuff maybe won't be as, I don't know, great or as out there as this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like in order to have good content, it needs to be mature content.
Right.
But with mature content, you're not locked away from as many ideas for movies and stuff. Like if you're trying to make a family-friendly platform, you can't make a TV show about a crack-dealing dog,
No.
Right.
Like that's, there's too much there you can't show kids, and so you have to think like, oh, maybe he delivers pizza, and that's maybe slightly less interesting,
Right, and it has to be, slightly more fake. Right?
Yeah.
Like the Marvels, look on the Marvel stuff on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Punisher obviously can never exist on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
And it's like, there's a story there, a really good story there, and like that's just not something you will ever be able to see on a place like Disney Plus.
What if the Punisher, instead of like killing people brutally, he just drew on them like Jigglypuff from Pokemon?
That'd be awful.
Like he just drew like glasses and mustaches on people.
That would be awful.
Get back at them.
Speaking of the Punisher and Disney Plus, rumors are that a lot of characters from Marvel are going to have their own shows on the streaming service. One rumor is that Hawkeye will be getting his own show on the platform. And then there's more. This originated from 4chan, so take it with a big grain of salt. But some of these scoops have been substantiated before, such as the Loki and the Scarlet Witch and Vision series. There's also a Falcon and the Winter Soldier rumor going around. And then also people are mentioning that Rocket and Groot, Agent 13, and Nebula would also be the Ravagers. Also a prequel featuring Hank Pym. And there was also mentioned of some properties that haven't been used in the movies yet, such as Moon Knight and the Sentry.
Moon Knight.
So right now I'm just going to call bullshit. They are never making a Moon Knight anything. I have accepted that.
It's just impossible.
They're going to make, weird things like the Eternals, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. They will never make a Moon Knight thing.
They could.
Also, I'm not sure I would want it on this.
Nah,
because it'd be PG-13,
yeah,
right?
that'd be dumb.
I mean, I've watched. So okay, quick backstory here.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Beat Saber, that VR game. You like cut the blocks in half in certain directions.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made the entire Shrek movie in Beat Saber.
Oh.
And I watched that. And I fully regret it. I don't recommend it.
Why would you do that?
It's just too long.
It sounds terrible.
You're basically rewatching the movie. I rewatched Shrek, essentially. And there's a lot of ass jokes.
Yeah.
Kind of tongue-in-cheek, because donkey is a donkey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there might still be some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
even with the PG-13. They're
sure.
kind of mature
But,
references that kids wouldn't understand
But
kind of
the
thing.
thing is with Moon Knight, he's a lot like Daredevil and the Punisher. And
Yeah.
he's violent, right? And you can't I mean, you can do it by not showing it, but you can't really do that.
Maybe there's a UFC
PG-13.
3-punch rule, maybe you can get 3 punches in before you have to go R.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get this streaming service.
It's no matter which way you look at it, it's pretty restrictive.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe it will have some good stuff on there.
Mm-hmm. Possible.
But
yeah.
in any case, hopefully they do well enough to at least compete with Netflix. So Netflix realizes that it doesn't have a monopoly.
Oh yeah, they raised their prices. By the way, did you see that?
Netflix did?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I don't pay for it, so
That's cheeky.
my grandparents pay for it, and they pay for they pay for the highest costing ones, so it can be on 4K.
Right.
It can stream 4K. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
And you can do
It's
4 people. I'm
Yep.
sharing with my siblings.
It's great. The
I'm
4K
sharing with Trevor.
It's great. Trevor's ain't in 4K. It looks
No.
It was logged in on my Xbox at one point. That shit was grainy as fuck on my TV. I was like, I can't do this.
Mister, I've got a 4K TV.
I can't. 1080p
Look at you,
content
all
looks
high and
awful
mighty.
on that. It looks like shit. It's like just.
I'm still
God,
I'm
it's
sure if
gross.
I got a 4K TV, I'd be saying the same shit. But
Mhm.
until it's affordable,
They're
I'm just
affordable
gonna
right
keep
now,
myself. Are they?
Jay. Yeah, they're like mine was like $350.
That's not too
It
bad. I
was
guess.
pretty big. It's nice.
I
It's
might
loud.
look into it. I don't know.
They're not that expensive these
I
days.
still don't have $300 to just drop on a TV.
Well, yeah, I mean, but when you
Mhm.
do,
Stuff costs stuff.
stuff costs money.
Yeah.
Money
Fact.
is not real.
Nope.
All right. Moving on. So, Detective Pikachu is a movie we all know about. We talked about extensively. Rumors are that a live-action film, also based on Pokemon, is in development as well. According to We Got This Covered, Legendary is developing 2 more Pokemon movies. One would be centered around Mewtwo, and the other would be an adaptation of the original 2 Pokemon games, Pokemon Red and Blue. Would be reportedly in the same universe as Detective Pikachu, but the rumor is unconfirmed. So it's possible that this is all fake. But thoughts on Pokemon Red and Blue getting a movie based on them?
That'd be cool, I guess.
You know, I'm down for it after
I
the
just
Sonic
don't- yeah.
live action announcement. I'm down for whatever
I just
people
don't.
want to do.
I just don't care
Just see
anymore.
what
let's
happens.
Throw it out, throw it to the wind. Let it exist.
See if it flies or
have fun.
dies. Who knows?
I'll have fun seeing it and being weirded out either way. So.
Either it'll be awesome and amazing and the best movie I've ever seen, or it'll be awesome and amazing because it's hilariously awful, like The Room.
I don't know if it'll be that bad.
I mean, right? That's a pretty high standard to set, or maybe low standard.
That's a high standard of bad to set. That is
Yeah.
you if you tried to do that, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
If you tried, like you just couldn't.
Yeah.
couldn't-
Oh, for sure.
You know.
But I hope it's not bad. Obviously.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu looks interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would think it would look the same, just with a different narrative, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So
For
yeah,
sure.
pretty cool. That does it for movie type stuff this week. Let's get on to some video game type stuff.
Video.
EA Electronic Arts has canceled an open world Star Wars game.
Whew, good. Didn't want that. That would be terrible.
Yeah, so bad, you know.
Basically, the game had been in development at EA Vancouver, which handles all support for like the FIFA games and Battlefront. I have been working on an open world Star Wars game since October 2017. Project was codenamed Ragtag, a linear action. And then also, this is the third Star Wars game to be canceled, I believe, after Visceral closed down.
This is
This is now another Star Wars game that is canceled, and so now since 2013, when EA got the license for Star Wars, there have been 2 Star Wars games.
Yep, and neither of them are
They
good.
were Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
They're just fucking up so. It's just so spectacular how much they're fucking up. Like, how is this even possible?
Come on, EA. What the fuck?
Just like make games that aren't terrible. Okay.
I did see what's that meme? It's a 4-panel where he's doing he's showing his project, and on the last side he looks over at it fuck, what is it?
Jay's trying to explain a meme.
Man.
It's not working.
Yeah,
It's not an uncommon
That's not
one.
how you. I don't know.
It's like do A, and he's smiling. Do B, he's smiling, and do C, and he looks back over to do
Oh,
C.
they throw him out the window.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. I'm just gonna stop trying to explain it.
All right.
Okay,
That's-
whatever.
I can see
Anyway,
it very clearly in my head.
you can't. If you
Memes
don't-
aren't
don't-
explainable.
don't try to explain memes, they're meant to be seen.
I'm not
that-
explaining a meme. I'm describing one that literally everyone here and probably listening to this podcast has seen.
I know what you're talking about, but you won't take my explanation.
Is it like a Rick and Morty thing?
No,
I don't know.
No, it's a.
Shit.
It's. I know it. It's the one with the business meeting.
No, but he's not thrown out.
He's thrown out the window.
No, it's one guy standing in
Well,
front of a
I'm
board.
not.
I
I'm not doing this.
Hold on, one more, let me give it one
We're
more chance.
done.
I don't know.
No,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
no,
I
no.
don't know.
One more chance, I got this. Okay, so it's one guy. There's only one guy in the whole panel,
Okay.
and he's standing in front of one of those big books of paper, and he has
Okay.
a thing drawn out, like a plan. And start step 1, flips it over. Step 2, he's still with it, flips it over. Step 3, and it's Despicable Me.
Oh, you're talking about this. Okay, where
Yeah,
it's
Groot,
Okay,
Groot, whatever. I don't watch this. I haven't seen Despicable
it's
Me.
like do this,
Yeah,
do this, and then
this, and it's something
wait,
bad.
What?
Yeah, and the
Okay.
whole point of that was
Sure, I
there was
get
one
it
where
now.
EA was oh da open world, and then no microtransactions. And I look over at it, and they're like, fuck.
No microtransactions.
Yeah.
But
That wasn't worth the
Yeah.
explanation.
it was not.
No.
That was really.
Just skip over that part. It's too late now. You've listened to it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think the next one is that there's a Star Wars game coming from Respawn.
Yeah, there is one coming from Respawn.
That will be
The
canceled.
people who made Titanfall.
I will see if these things actually exist. Every Star Wars game that I've wanted has been canceled. So
Yeah, the last one that we saw was Star Wars 1313.
that got canceled.
That got canceled because Disney bought Lucasfilm and they shut down LucasArts.
Mm-hmm. And they got rid of that the story-driven one.
Yeah,
That
the one
didn't
that
have a
was
title.
made by was it Amy Hennig?
Yeah.
Uh.
They canceled that one as well, so it's like like so you're just gonna release two terrible
Multiplayer only shooters.
two if we're playing multiplayer, if I wanted to play a multiplayer only shooter, neither of those are the ones I would ever I played the beta for both. It was fucking terrible. Both of them were bad.
The only upside was that it was free.
Yeah, the beta was free. And I was like, holy shit, this isn't good.
Yeah, I'm not paying $60 for this.
It's like this, everything about it felt wrong.
Maybe if it went down to 20.
Yeah.
Like Titanfall did.
Mm-hmm. Well, Titanfall 2 was actually good.
Yeah.
It's like, it just came out at the same time as it came out within a week of Call of Duty that year. And within a week of Battlefield 1.
Yeah. Which was weird because it was an EA game and it was coming out so close to Battlefield.
Yeah,
I was like, why?
I mean, I guess it's a different style shooter, but at the same time, you're also coming out really close to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, EA hasn't been the best when it comes to stuff like this.
No.
Nope, they haven't.
They're bumbling around.
So yeah, getting even more bad will than they already got.
Yep, fuck them. For all the shit that they've done to things that I love.
hope the company gets shut down.
Wow,
We're going to arrest
probably
them.
not.
We're going to arrest the CEO and the board of directors.
And and then the whole company will be shut down.
Yep. And the license will be given to somebody else. Give the license to Nintendo. Just kidding. Don't actually.
So yeah, EA canceling Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm.
They've canceled more Star Wars games than they released.
Yep.
Fuck. That's really sad.
Okay, moving on. Speaking to Business Insider, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella threw out the phrase that that they want to be the Netflix of gaming. He says it's shorthand that they want to be the Netflix for games. We have as much shot to build a subscription service as anybody else. Talking about how they have a huge back catalog of both console and PC games, and they kind of have the money to do it. So yeah, I guess thoughts on Xbox wanting to be the Netflix of gaming?
Well, I mean, if they have enough shit on there, yeah. But PlayStation's probably going to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I would think. That just makes sense, so.
We already got EA Access and then now Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll definitely be like a Netflix Hulu relationship between Sony and Xbox. And both of them having things to bring to the table, very different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One maybe being more popular than the other, but
Well, the thing is that Netflix has a lot of original content
Mm-hmm.
exclusively, whereas Xbox doesn't have a lot of that great exclusive stuff.
yeah.
I mean, they've got some big
Sony's
ones like
doing better
Halo,
there.
Gears of War, but I
Forza,
I guess
I guess.
maybe that's part of the reason they bought a bunch of
Studios
recently.
so they can do that shit.
But so far they haven't really done anything. They don't have that much, especially compared to Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, interesting. I mean, I think everyone wants to be the Netflix of their
something.
industry because like
Yeah.
Netflix like is synonymous with streaming, right? Like when you
Mhm.
think of streaming, you think of Netflix.
Yeah.
And so like if you think of gaming, of course Xbox wants you to think of them.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix is like in the same vein of like Kleenex or Band-Aid or
Right, yeah. It's like Kleenex is not what they're called. They're called facial tissues.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then-
Kleenex is such a good
Yeah.
brand.
or like adhesive wraps.
Bandages.
Adhesive
Or bandages, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what Netflix is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Um
I like Games Pass though. It's cool.
yeah, cool. It's a cool idea.
I don't use it as often as I should.
No.
Well, that's how
What I pay
streaming
for.
services get their money.
I mean, I
Or
don't.
subscription services.
I don't
You
even
subscribe, then you forget about it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like I need to. I need to use Crunchyroll more. Like I don't use it, but I still have.
I was telling you, man, VRV
Yeah.
has Crunchyroll and it's cheaper
Damn.
and has more
Mhm.
stuff.
That's weird.
It is weird. I just remember one time Crunchyroll was like, "Why the fuck you still here? Go to VRV, you idiot!" And I was like, "All right," and I went over there and it was fine.
So that does it for the news.
It does.
Yeah.
The
No
juice.
news.
Let's talk about games and movies, since that's what we always talk about.
Yeah.
But this time together, what are good ideas for games that we can make into movies?
So I was thinking about this from when we were talking about Red, Blue, Pokemon movie coming out here. I think the main key to making a good video game movie is not basing it too strongly off the video game. And I mean, really any form of media that, because like Pokemon, for example, has video games, has card games, has probably comic books, movies. Like there's a lot of forms of media that it's been on.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be better to kind of try to create a universe out of all these things that they've ever made and then make your movie in that universe, but not really based on anything.
Right.
That would make, because the problem with video game movies most of the time is they're trying to make it like the video game,
Which it can't really.
which it can't. Yeah,
'Cause,
because
like,
video games
games-
aren't meant to be the way.
They're really long too
Yeah, the way video games
and interactive.
Yeah, exactly. The way video games like lure you in is because they're interactive. You get to like interact with this world, and a lot of the stuff you do can be kind of repetitive, especially for a movie.
Well, yeah, and you just can't fit everything. Like you trigger like the story, right, in a video
Mhm.
game, versus like the movie just happens,
It
right?
happens
You
as a
don't do
character, and it's
anything,
not
yeah.
you.
I agree. I think the best one for that would be like probably like Halo or like a Gears of War game
Mm-hmm.
or movie, I should say. I think Pokemon's a great example because, you know, they're like Detective Pikachu, right? Like there are so many different Pokemon, right? And that, you know, it's something familiar and you can go somewhere completely different and it, you know, it's familiar, but it's new and interesting. Like games like Mario, they kind of suck because you have to have Mario and Mario's a certain way, you know, versus like these games, like you said, with these more universe things. Mass Effect would be good, right?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Um,
Because you wouldn't have to do like the story beats or the same
yeah,
thing.
you don't even have to do the same character. You can just say it's like in this universe and then have aspects of that universe that resonate with people, but doing a completely new story that isn't held back by the games.
And it'd be like a lot of things too. Like when you're playing a Pokemon game and you're switching between Pokemon, you just go into a menu and choose it, and then like it's turn based is what it is, and you can't do turn based in a movie.
No.
So you have to figure out how to do that as well. Like how do people like initiate battles? How does the battle happen? Like even like when you watch the anime, like it's a little slow.
Yeah. Well, they draw it out.
Right.
Over,
I
like,
mean, they draw it out. There's a lot of art. I understand why it's like that.
Yeah.
But it still is like turn based, even though it's this animation. It's supposed to feel like this battle going on. So that's like a big thing. if you're gonna be doing a Pokemon movie, you gotta make sure the battles are flowy, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you have to, like, the move sets, like when they learn new moves at certain levels, like you gotta figure all that out. Like, how do they know levels?
Yeah, or is it just like
I mean,
happen?
Or does it just
It
happen?
just
Like
happen,
one
or-
time
Yeah,
your
it's just,
Bulbasaur
like,
uses a
happens
vine whip.
sometimes.
It's like cool. He can whip things with his vines.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how you have to do it.
But
Yeah.
Basically, make
I-
them all like little superheroes
Yeah.
but yeah.
or aliens.
I mean,
guess.
yeah.
I'd like Mass Effect would be cool. I'd like something something sci-fi would be nice. I think.
Sci-fi is real cool.
Or like a TV show. I'd prefer, to be honest.
I could really get behind a
pref-
Fallout.
Like show or something or a movie. Depends on what you do with it. I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, the big thing would just be the setting. That'd be real easy to do. Shit's blown up.
Post-apocalypse. Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy.
And you could just put it in like, I don't know, small town, big town, fucking whatever.
Minneapolis.
Yeah. Many. that wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess.
But it's twist. It's no longer a big town because of the war. It's like a small group of people.
Yeah.
And they're just like built around like one of the signs that was an entrance to the city.
Yeah.
And so they
Yeah.
call themselves the Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Be cool. That stuff would be way cool. And then you have all this like, I guess when I think about games that movies would work well for, almost all of them are like open world or very story driven. And if they
There's a
are
lot
story
to-
driven, they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Full, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to work with.
Very
then.
detailed.
Well, it's like it's the lore, right? Like that's why Star Wars is so big, right? Like the thing is like there's a lot of sci-fi that are just like one-offs, right? But like the thing is with like things like Star Wars, with Pokemon, with like Halo, is that you got all these like extra things that are going on that help create the world, and you know they make it so that you know there's more to explore than just the one thing that you're watching or playing or whatever. And so like there's always different things to do, and that's a great thing to like draw on for like a movie or something, because like you can get the essence of the game, you know, the world, but you're not constricted by the fact that there's this like, you know, narrative that you need to like abide by.
Well, Pokemon would be. I think if Pokemon focuses on the fact that some of the stronger Pokemon are literally demigods,
That'd be kind of interesting.
that'd be way cool. Like you
Like
got
Arceus,
fucking
or-
like outside of Red and Blue, you got like Groudon, right? Who's responsible? Like if you played Team Aqua, Team Lava,
what?
Magma.
Team Aqua, Team Magma, and like one of them wants to flood the Earth
Yeah.
with Kyogre.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like remember all these names,
Yeah.
and it's
Flood with Kyogre, Groudon, McMoreland.
land.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like the fact that those Pokemon can even do that, like that'd be cool to focus on.
Yeah.
I'd like it.
Be way cool.
But yeah.
You got real
video
fucked up
game
shit like
movies,
Mewtwo and stuff.
generally non-linear things would be
Non-linear.
good.
Non-linear. It's got to have.
Because then you can
enough lore to work with.
make a linear movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's why Marvel has such an easy time like going with fucking anything. They have so much to work with.
Right. Yeah.
All these like comics are already like written up. Like you take a hero that's already made and just like remake them for the screen. So if you do that with whatever video game it just can't be like Mario. There's no universe to Mario.
Yeah.
There's no universe to Pac-Man. There's no universe to The Legend of Zelda. Kind of. It's really fucked up. It's there. It
But
is
it makes
really
no
fucked
sense.
up.
It's there, but it's the same person every time, so
Yeah.
that makes it.
Well, I watched a YouTube video.
Do you the timeline?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
He ties it all together with Monopoly.
What video?
It's on. Okay, so
I'll
I want to
talk
start this
about
off by
this later.
saying I hate Polygon. Right, that's where this is at.
Okay.
It's on their channel, but this guy on Polygon that recently got hired is pretty
Okay.
funny. I can't remember his name.
All right, no, I think I know what you're talking about.
But he does
I
this whole
haven't
timeline. He's like, this is like how
Okay.
they're saying it is. And then he adds all the games in. He's like, the reason it all connects back into Breath of the Wild is because of Monopoly.
Okay, I don't
It's
want to get
pretty
into
weird.
this video.
No,
right?
it's a long
But-
video. It's confusing. Yeah, my point is that wouldn't work very well.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yeah, so I don't know. Any other thoughts?
No.
It's about
No,
all
I think that does it for us on this episode of Clever and Original Podcast.
Yeah.
Jay, if people want to find you in the social media sphere, where can they do that?
You want to come find me? Come to Twitter, Jayden Reinhart.
Nope.
JJ, where can people find you?
Larson 107.
You can find me at Kayley Misialek on Twitter. You can find us all at Clever_Original on Twitter. And as you are right now, listen to us each and every week on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast services. And we'll catch you next week on episode 180.
Yeah.
Peace.